Let's party to the rhythm of peanut butter and jam.
Hey guys, so welcome to the first episode of PB&J. We have Nada here. Nada, you want to introduce yourself to everybody here?
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here and honored to be the first guest. My name is Nader. I'm doing developer relations with Eigen Labs. I've been doing developer relations in the blockchain space for about 4 years. Been doing developer education for almost 10 years.
I think you are and might be the only perfect person just to have kickstart this entire series. So yeah, let's actually dive straight into it. So just for context, for anybody who's listening in and don't know what's happening, we are basically going to be building a data provider, essentially getting data from a particular website without actually having to access any API or any guideline from the website in a totally permissionless manner. So, Nader, do you have a website in mind that you want to probably get data from?
You know, the obvious choice for me would be something like Twitter. It's just because it's something that we use all the time and it's a big part of my role at work even. So that might be a cool one.
Let's do it. I mean, Twitter is also a pretty easy provider to make as well. So yeah, let's do it. Yes, sir. Yeah, this is the 6-digit code that you have to enter on the Reclaim Protocol dev tool.
Cool. So I have the app open, the Reclaim Dev app. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the code here.
Yep.
All right. I'm in.
Yeah. So this is the magic, right? So whenever you go to a website, like whenever you go to twitter.com, and if you click on function F12, you see the network request tab, you see all of these requests, you see all of the responses. So that is exactly what gets collected kind of over here. So you might also need to log in since it is private data.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And this isn't going to expose like any secrets on the screen here, huh?
No, it is not going to expose anything on the screen.
Okay.
I mean, that would be pretty fun as a first episode. Also, I saw that you're partnering up with Yash for the Asian demo days. He's pretty cool. That guy's crazy.
Yes. I'm really excited about that because he has such a great network of Solana builders that we're going to be able to kind of get, more diverse types of people presenting on the demo days. And I think like we've gone very wide, like in terms of the agents. Now we want to go deeper on specific ecosystems. So I'm going to have maybe like, for now, Solana. In the future, I'll have whatever, ZK Sync or maybe like Abstract or some of these Mega ETH types of different teams and stuff.
Yep.
And then in the future, get outside and do other stuff as well. Okay, cool. So I'm logged back in.
Yep.
So I'm on my profile page.
Yep. I think you should just type in Dabbit 3. I think that would be the best. Oh, okay. So, yep. So over here, what happens is you can essentially click on whatever data that you need, and then you can just add it. So if you just so you could just call it as bio, and you could click on add. So what the private information does is it enables OPRF. So OPRF
It enables what now?
It is an oblivious pseudo-anonymous function. But essentially what that means is whatever your bio is in plain text, it kind of encrypts it. This returns the entire thing in an encrypted format. I think we already selected we could select any number of data points here.
But I see now, so the selected data I have is right here now, right?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. Right now you can just click on next because we're done with selecting the data that we need. And so here's the part where you essentially make your link, like your URL, dynamic, or if it is static. So if you just go down, I don't see any parts of the URL that I feel like need to be dynamic. Yep, this looks good.
So go to next.
Yep. So you know how your GitHub username might have /David3, right? So under circumstances like that, you would have to click on unique to user, and it would change it to a URL param. So it would make it dynamic. So the end user wouldn't generate proofs for your username essentially.
Cool.
Yeah, everything pretty much.
So
Yeah, you could
what is
just
so how am I going to use this login URL?
so whenever you know how the reclaim flow kind of works, right? You scan a QR code, and it opens up the app clip, which takes you to a URL. So that is a URL that is gonna pop up first. So
Got
if
it.
it
Okay.
is, and one easy way to maybe do make it a little bit more easier for the user would be to just go onto an incognito tab and then copy and paste the link there, and it would automatically add a redirect to the entire link. I mean, yeah, you could test out the provider now.
Cool. So now that I'm here, I just scan this.
Yep. Now you just go through the reclaim flow entirely. It probably is going to open up an app clip.
Okay, cool. It says Reclaim is requesting data from X. Oh, cool. We're deep into live demo territory here, guys. You're pretty, I would say, risky in doing such a deep live demo live on stream. You must have a lot of confidence in what you're
Yep.
building, huh? And then it says data shared successfully.
Oh shit.
And now it's
Yeah,
redirecting. I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's it.
cool, man. That worked perfectly, like a
Oh,
charm.
yeah. I should not be this surprised and this happy.
I'm surprised, not because of you. It's just because, when you do a live demo and you're doing all of these things, it just sometimes doesn't work. But this
Yeah,
worked great.
yeah, man. I mean, so I think that took us almost 5 to 10 minutes just to pull in whatever data it is from Twitter, and now you can literally integrate this thing inside your application in literally the same amount of time as well. So that is the cool part.
Very cool. Very cool.
This works for every website. So you could literally type in any website on here and you could see data providers being built. So maybe you could type LinkedIn, you could type maybe
Mm,
Credit Karma, maybe anything, even Akasa Airlines, to check whether you're a
wow.
YC holder. So all of these are all actually, a lot of them have been built by the community. So I mean, pretty much all of them, like pretty crazy, dude.
Man, you guys have 85 pages of different providers. That's awesome. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of these are probably very like niche, but still, it's pretty cool.
I mean, we've had pretty
Cool.
super sick use cases. I mean, one use case was with, and that was pretty sick. I mean, there's a lot of
That's
cool
awesome,
use.
man. That's really cool. That seems to make so much sense, actually. As in terms of the value prop, that just makes perfect sense for this sort of product. I think there's just so much rich social data available that hasn't really been, used in very interesting ways due to a lot of like limitations around API access and stuff for Twitter, and also them changing things, as well as just the limitations for bringing verifiable data and bringing it on chain and using it in on chain applications. I think social just sticks out to me the most, and I think you can kind of think of the obvious use cases of like Twitter, but also really when you start thinking about some of the more valuable things that people build, they often are like not so sexy. They might have to do with like LinkedIn or some of these other Salesforce types of
Yep.
applications, right? So like I would immediately think of using something like Twitter, and then my business brain might tell me, oh, what about Airtable or Salesforce or like all these different CRM companies where you want to kind of like bring some of that information that's private, like by nature. But now with something like this, you might be able to do more with it and be more creative, like with what you can do. So that would be kind of my two areas, like social and then like CRM types of applications. It's definitely AI and agents for sure. And I think that the good thing about that is that it actually is composable and interoperable with everything else. So it's not like we're ditching or leaving behind anything in the past. We're enhancing and supercharging everything that we've had, all of these different primitives with AI and agents. So I think that's the exciting thing for me for sure. And I know it might be kind of like a played out narrative to some people, but I think we're just getting started. I feel like it's zkTLS isn't like the focus of the application. It's more of like the tool, or the unlock for building out more interesting like applications. And just kind of how, like, I would say, when you talk to a user, you don't say, oh, why do you like the app? And they say, oh, it's because it's decentralized. Like, you never hear someone say that ever, right? They instead say, oh, it's awesome because I can launch a token on pump.fun, or launch a DAO, or I can go on Farcaster and like have a social graph that is composable across multiple different front ends, or I can like lend and borrow on chain across all of these different apps. So it's never about decentralization. It's more about the use cases that are unlocked. And I think it's the same thing with zkTLS and a lot of these different primitives, in my opinion. It's about the feature and the use case versus the tech itself. I think it's very important to kind of like build in public and share what you're building on social media and get it in front of people. And then also tap into the like networks of people that are kind of like building the thing that you want to get involved with. So a good example of this is AI16Z ELIZA. It's kind of a new thing, right? It only been around for a few months, but if you were, and even now, if you are a contributor, you can jump into the like Discord and contribute and get to meet the founder, Shaw. He'll like literally respond to you. And it's that easy. Like it's find an area that you're really excited about, dive in, contribute, and you can get to connected with these people by just being, putting yourself out there. Build in public, to me, it's like open source the code that you're working on, screenshot the application that you're building, ask questions out loud, and don't be afraid to kind of put out your thoughts to the world and not be criticized, because a lot of us, are worried that someone's going to pick apart our thoughts. And it happens sometimes, but at the end of the day, most people respect the fact that you're out there trying to learn new things, and they're not going to criticize you if you don't know everything. And that's how you learn. You kind of like put your ideas out there, you get feedback on them, you ask questions, and 99% of this community is really kind and helpful. And that's the 99% you should focus on, not the 1% that might try to tear you down.
Yeah, man. I mean, thank you for sitting here with me and jamming it out on making a data provider as well. So yeah, would love to maybe have you here again. We wanna keep impressing people with the quality of code and just the speed at which we execute things as well. So probably the next time we have you here, we wanna blow your minds with what we have prepared. So yeah, I mean, if we
Looking
are pretty,
forward to it.
yeah, I mean, if we are cocky enough to do a live demo just over here like this, and I think we should be pretty fine in the future. I mean, it's all about bolts.
Well, I'm available anytime. So I love talking about this sort of thing. So bring me back whenever you're ready. I'm ready already.
Yes, sir.